We're in Port Royal, South Carolina, and we're at the home of Ned Rahn. Ned worked for many years as a fireman, and Ned, that was out at the Marine Air Base?
Yeah, Marine Corps Air Station, Beaufort, working as firefighter. I worked out there about between 28, 29 years. Retired as a fire chief there, and retired kind of early, about 50 years old. And after I retired, I fished all I wanted to for a while, every day. The weather was right, but that got kind of boring after a while, and I had another interest, which was plants. And so I got the idea that we might open a little nursery.
Yeah.
And we did that. I bought a greenhouse, put it up, put it together, and got into plants.
And I'm going to make a joke, and this is probably a pretty bad one. As a fireman, it was a good thing you were used to watering, because in the summertime in South Carolina, there's a lot of watering.
Well, yeah.
But what was some of the first things that caught your interest? Did you want to have kind of some different things?
I was always interested in fruit trees.
Yes, sir.
All kind of fruits that grow in our area, and I got interested in citrus. I realized there were certain citrus that would grow here, and in fact, there were a couple of trees around in the Beaufort area that I noticed from time to time. They would a lot of times eventually freeze, or we would lose them, but some of them would stay around. And so I got a satsuma and a couple of other citrus and planted them in the yard, and they did okay. And so I bought citrus from various wholesalers, and I started growing budding citrus, growing rootstock and budding citrus, and grew my own trees. And as you could see, I have a good many on the place now. I keep accumulating them.
And you've got some other interesting ones as well.
Right. I have Kishu mandarin.
What's that one like?
It's a little citrus about big as a plum. Easy to peel.
That's nice.
Very much shaped like a satsuma. No seeds, seedless, and very tasty. It's a good little tree for home citrus to grow in your yard. I also have a navel orange that I grew from a tree that I budded years ago. It's probably 25 foot tall now.
Gosh.
And has a lot of citrus on it.
So here down near the coast, I guess you don't lose them too many winters. Do you usually get a good
Usually we get a good crop. We have had winters in which we had some damage. When it goes below 20, it stays there for long. You know, with a citrus, the hardiness is a couple of things. It's how low the temperature goes and how long it stays there. If it goes below 18 degrees and stays there for, you know, a whole day, a half a day, you're going to get a good bit of damage. But they have been coming out of that damage okay, you know, and the tree comes back, and as a result, we have a good many citrus here.
Most years.
The result of experimenting and finding ones that were hardy too.
There you go.
Yeah.
A lot of trial and error.
A lot of trial and error, right.
Another fruit that you said you had an interest in was plums, and you have kind of an interesting story. I was telling you that I'd been looking for a native Chickasaw plum, and you said, well, it just so happens.
Yeah, I have a Chickasaw plum that I got from Larry Rose, who's our county agent, and it's pretty good size. Faye and I used to do plant shows and sell plants at the plant shows. And in Jasper County, we were walking around at the plant show looking at the other vendors' things. And there was a young lady there, probably 10 years old, and she had her some plants, and she had a pot full of plum seedlings. And I talked to her a little bit about it, and I said, where did you get the seeds? And she said, there's an old plum tree near my house in the woods. And I said, well, how did the plums taste on it? And she said, oh, they were great. So I wanted to buy something from her anyway.
Yeah.
So I brought them home, and now those seedlings are large trees. Anyway, looking around on the internet, I run into folks that were interested in hybrid Chickasaw plums. Hybrids between those and the domestic plum. And it seems that Chickasaw crosses easily with our domestic plums. Some that I don't know which kind, but some of the domestic plums, and make good plums. And make good dooryard citrus because they're roots are much better adapted to the soils here locally in the southeast. As a result, I've grafted other plums to seedlings of, plums put up suckers all over the place, So I took some of those seedlings, some of those suckers, and grafted domestic plums to them. And they did very good. Domestic plums are mostly grafted from commercial sources on peach rootstock. Peach rootstock does not do good on our soils, sandy soils.
Nematodes,
Right, nematodes get them, right.
So this is a way to avoid that. I think
they seem to do good on them. I mean, as you saw when we was walking around the nursery.
They look pretty healthy.
Yeah, they're nice, healthy trees. Where if you plant one on a peach rootstock, it'll die pretty quick.
Well, one thing that really caught my eye, because it was so pretty, was the loquats you had. They were big.
Oh, yeah. That's Macbeth. There are a number of named loquats, and Macbeth happens to be one that has done good for me. I had one called Big Jim and Gold Nugget, but that Macbeth has done well for us.
Well, it tasted good too.
Tasty plum, yeah, it is.
Well, we're sitting here under a tree that I think we can thank your better half of the family for.
Right. It's a variegated chinaberry. I got it from riverbanks years ago when they would allow growers to come in and take cuttings. I think its name was Snowflake. I'm not sure about that, but anyway, it has been a good tree, but it's getting kind of old, and I threatened to cut it down a couple of times, but my wife, Faye, defends it vigorously. And of course, I know when not to step over the line. So it's her tree.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, now this has been a real treat for us at Making It Grow. I want to thank you for letting us come. If people have questions or want to learn more about some of the plants you talked about, do you have a way that you communicate with people?
Yeah, I have an email, plantfolks@yahoo.com. Plantfolks is all one word. Anyway, if they send me an email and have a question, I'll try to answer.
All right, and I'm going to look forward to coming back when these trees are covered of fruit.
Oh yeah, please do.
All righty.
It'd be a good trip. We'd love to have you.